So welcome everybody. Very glad that you're here. This is a free live Q&A with the collective, and on all of the questions, they're going to be checking in with your spirit team, as I say. Now, my internet has been a bit wonky at times, but there will be a full replay of this live Q&A. So if you can't really hear me very well, or if you can only hear like, every other word or something, every fifth word, put your question into the chat, whether you can hear me or not, actually. That's just simplest. And we probably won't be able to get to everyone today, but we'll do what we can. We also can't go very fully into any one issue because we're going to try to answer as many people's questions as possible. So let's just start with breathing in slowly through the nose with mouth closed. And then breathing out through the open mouth, the ha sound. And just continue with that for a bit. That's going to put you in your heart space. Breathing in slowly with mouth closed, and then breathing out slowly through the open mouth. And you can breathe out through sort of puckered lips as if you were whistling, if you're having a really stressful time of it, and that will lower your blood pressure. In any event, all of these kinds of breathing, these pranayamas, they really put you in the heart space, and they put you in that parasympathetic nervous system state where you're just going to be calm and open and releasing all of the feelings that go along with dealing with one issue or another, as well as dealing with the ascension symptoms, the powerful energies coming in, because you are just, receiving right now the highest light that this universe can offer you without us imploding, basically. So that's a very high level of light. That's incredibly high. And nobody should feel like, oh, something's wrong, I'm just exhausted all the time, or headachy, or achy joints, or people have said their stomach gets upset, their digestion's thrown off. All of this has to do with these ascension symptoms. The body's just working so hard to release toxicity. So, all right, as you're staying in that breathing for a bit, you're going into the heart space, you're opening up. We invite in all of the spirit teams right now. We're giving thanks for everyone, and just take a moment where you're calling back to yourself any aspect of your spirit or consciousness that is out and about. It's out in the universe somewhere. You're doing your earth mission as you're sleeping, and you're in a space where things are difficult, and you're helping people here or there, but you're traveling etherically an awful lot. And you're working with the timeline and straightening things out about past lives and other issues, and bits of your consciousness or your spirit might still be out there. So just say your name, like I'm going to say, Caroline, all of me, come back in right now from wherever you have been traveling. If you've been thinking of other places in the world, places you'd like to be again, like Paris or what have you, staring out at the beautiful blue ocean, whatever it is, come back in right now. I need your full presence where I am right now. So call yourself back in fully. We're just working with that for a moment. And just give me a moment and I'll call in the collective. They'll greet you and then they'll start working with people. So just one moment. Well, greetings, dear ones. We are, of course, very pleased to have this time to speak with you today. And so, of course, as we do always, we will ask Archangel Michael to work with everyone, to be very present with everyone. And if there's any etheric cords, any energy ties between you and any, between you and any person or place or object or energy form that is clinging to you and which is not for your higher good, we just ask Archangel Michael, would you please assist and cut through those cords. We'll ask everyone to mute so there's no background sounds unless we need to speak with you. Wonderful, thank you. And so you're just opening up right now to hear your higher self's wisdom and your beautiful spirit team in general, your guides, your angelic guardians. All of these dear ones are here. They're asking to work with you. So, all right, wonderful. We also ask Archangel Raphael if he will be very present with his team of angelic healers to work with all of you in mind, body, spirit. Now, this isn't only to assist in the issues that you know about, but the things you're a little perplexed about, whatever they might be. So, as these beautiful solar flares, CMEs and solar flares are just raging right now. And as this incredible sentient light is pouring into the planet with the beautiful vibrational frequency, a sound frequency and everything else, all of this is just absolutely wonderful and very important for your outlook, for your growth, for your ascension, and for the lifting of your energies in general, lifting of your outlook on life. But what is interesting is that as you're doing this, you are calling forth your higher self, you're calling forth everyone in your life who has ever blessed you to support you. You're offering that support to them as well. And you're just calling forth the beauty of this moment and the integration of this light in ways that are far easier and calmer, ways that are completely positive for you. You're not calling forth more difficulty. You're releasing the idea that you can only grow through pain and trouble and tribulations and all that sort of a thing that you're taught for so long. You're just releasing all of that. So you're taking on now the understanding that in order to grow, in order to integrate these energies, you're going to have to go into states of relaxation that just allows and accepts all these beautiful blessings and all of these beautiful forms of awakenings and healings and release. And yes, that will have some physical consequences. Absolutely, it will. But all of you are capable, or you wouldn't be here. So, all right, dear ones. We'll look at these questions in the order that they are put into the chat. And let's see here. So this dear one is asking, what do we need to know about the divine masculine? And they're saying, I feel so much healing has been happening within myself and feel as if the divine masculine is being birthed within me. It's been intense waves of grief and memories, etc. Any insight is welcome. Absolutely wonderful. Let's call forth this dear one's spirit team. Namaste, friends. We're just going to see what they're saying. All right, wonderful. So this is really going to ask everyone to mute. This is really quite interesting because what this dear one's team is saying is that they came in to establish the divine masculine on the earth, and there are others working with them and their soul family and many others on a parallel path. But this has been a big part of your journey, dear one. So it's always been there. They're saying it's just that you are feeling it much more powerfully now. And yes, the divine masculine is being birthed within you and being birthed within earth life as life on the earth moves up into 5D. So just be aware that this is something very beautiful. And, you're asking, what do we need to know about divine masculine? The thing that reason we say that it's beautiful is because Earth has been operating for so long on the principles of the wounded masculine and the lower masculine, which expresses itself in hierarchy and patriarchy in very narrowly defined terms. And so this is where you get these idioms, these paradigms, so as they say, of the tough guy. And these people who feel, whether they're masculine or feminine outwardly in the physical body, who feel the only way to do things is through hard work and being tough on others and themselves. And they are all very caught up in the path of pure action. And so to stop and be quiet and just envision and to support those whose visions are very beautiful, all this is very hard for them. It's very hard for them. And what happens with the divine masculine energies coming back into the earth is that they're opening their heart space and saying, yes, there's more than one way to do things. And yes, we can support those who design, who invent, who envision, and all of that is the divine feminine. So it's absolutely wonderful that once again, the masculine is coming in to support the co-creative design and birthing of outer matter and also of evolutionary movement and progress within humanity and within the earth. Once again, joining, and the indigenous peoples knew this very, very well, but it got forced out of them by institutions such as the organized church, etc. Well, now it's coming back, and it won't ever be forced out again. So this is a beautiful time, dear one. And let the grief come up. Your team is saying just relax and allow in what's happening. All right, dear ones, just allow in and all of these shifts, because they don't mean to disturb you. They don't mean to harm you. Don't stand in opposition to them. Don't try to protect yourself from them. Open up and just allow and be very, very thankful, because, this is exactly the kind of transformation that all of you have come in for. It's exactly what you've come in for. You've come in for this earth-shaking shift and change. And it sounds sort of ridiculous, well, wait a minute, if this is 5D, shouldn't we all just be happier and at peace? And yet the shift here is that you're releasing everything that isn't the real you. You can think of it that way. You're releasing everything that's held you back. Pardon, you're releasing everything that's taught you that you're not worthy. You're not worthy of love. You're not worthy of abundance or joy or fulfillment and fulfilling work or fulfilling relationships. All of that's got to be released now. And yes, it can feel a bit uncomfortable at times. It really can. Absolutely it can. And so I'm going to ask everyone to mute if they can.
How is it possible that mild-mannered power?
I'm going to ask everyone to mute. Having trouble muting some people. So just try to mute yourselves, dear ones, so that the messages we're handing on don't get sort of lost. And so, all right, so yes, that beautiful combination of feminine and masculine is finding its true way. And these energies, these ascension energies are coming in the sense that it feels cataclysmic, but it's only exactly what you all have asked for and called forth. So we're just sending light to everyone for that. You just allow this integration, allow the divine feminine, allow the divine masculine to fully express through you, and everyone has both within them. You may be celebrating one more than the other. That's all right. That's just your path. And wonderful. Mother Sekhmet here amongst us. Father, Mother, Creator, God, Goddess, here amongst us and working with each of you to create this beautiful balance in the mind, in the spirit, and in the body. All of that. Wonderful. All right, dear ones. Now we're moving on to the stomach issues, all right? And several people having these issues. Yeah. All right. All right. Let's call in these dear ones' spirit teams. We're going to call in for the first one. The first person, Dar, who asked that question. We're going to call in her spirit team and see what they're saying. One moment. Just going to listen. Well, this might be true for everyone. They're saying that there are things you're not going to be able to eat anymore because as you rise to a higher level, every cell in the body is holding more light and it's calling in more light. So food that doesn't hold any much light, it isn't real. It's too processed, or it's just something your system does not like. That's not going to fly anymore. That's not going to be something that you can call upon, dear one. All right, so you need to drink a lot more pure water. Structured water is best. You can get a structured water filter. They sell them on Amazon, and they cost a couple of $100. Yes, they do. Save up for it if you need to, but incredibly important because the water that comes out of the tap, and often that which you buy, even if you think, oh, it's safe because I bought bottled water, it isn't. It's highly contaminated. You put it through a structured water filter, it spins it tens of thousands of times so that it's as pure as a mountain stream, even more pure. And you can drink that water, that structured water, which has been restructured on a molecular level and therefore highly purified, all chemicals nullified, even if you can still sort of smell the fluoride or what have you in the water, it's nullified, it's gone. And it's very, very empowering. It will help you as well. So many people feel just more peaceful, more positive, that they're able to handle stress better. So structured water for one, and then a lot of leafy greens and fresh vegetables and fresh raw celery, raw fruits, if you can. Your team are saying just do what you can to subsist on a diet of that, and nuts and seeds if you can, whatever's healthy for you, whatever works with you. Might want to work with a nutritionist, but generally we would say whole foods, real foods. Come away from the breads. Come away from the heavier meats if you can. If you have fish, it needs to be wild salmon, wild Alaskan salmon, let's say, or something that is, offered to you in a very pure sense. If you read the medical mediums books, he has Anthony William. He has a wonderful book, Cleanse to Heal, chock full of wonderful ideas. So we would say this to all of them, all the three people who asked this question. So we'll go on to the next one now. And this dear one's team, we're just going to listen for a moment about the stomach issues. Again, there are food intolerances. And these may be new intolerances that we're talking about. You might not think you have an allergy or an intolerance for this food or that, but it's there. All right, they're sharing something very important, which is that there are often emotional issues connected to certain foods. And for that, we would say, look into Brittany Watkins' work. She is a genius at this. BrittanyWatkins.com, and she offers a lot for free on the internet. But we would say, look into her work, because what she specializes in is releasing the connection that the mind makes with certain foods. For instance, I always baked wonderful cookies or wonderful cakes with my grandmother. So if I feel down, if I feel stressed by the day, then absolutely I'm going to have some cookies, or I'm going to bake something for myself, because that makes me feel so loved and so cared for. And people will have these associations and not realize it. So there's specific forms of tapping for that regular tapping doesn't really seem to work for, not as well at any rate. So just be aware of that, dear ones. Be aware that you are in a situation now where there's just going to be a lot of changes going on with your body, and just be very aware of that. So we'll look at Chona now as well. All right, dear one, they're saying you need a parasite cleanse. You need to do a full cleanse. It's sort of like an infection, they're saying. Now, we don't do diagnoses. We only offer suggestions because we are not doctors in the sense that you accept them on your planet at the moment. But we do relay what your spirit team is saying. So very pure foods for you as well, Dale One. They're saying a lot of apples and leafy green salads, a lot of water. Again, your body is no longer accepting things that in the past it would have accepted, yes. So, all right, let's work with all of this, and we're going to extend this to everyone. Ask everyone to join us in this beautiful circle of light. And this will be for stomach issues, for eating patterns and habits, for any form of health issue based on what you put into your body, whether it's smoking, drinking, eating, what have you. Physical exercise or lack of it, physical work, all of that, wonderful. Just bring in a beautiful green, emerald green healing light, and Archangel Raphael and his team are here working with all of you. And what we are asking them and all of your spirit teams is to consistently send you support for how you're feeling and for getting clarity on what you really need right now on an energetic level, all right? Energetically, meaning the food and drink, anything you smoke, any people you're around. Your body chemistry is going to shift to resonate on a similar level to whomever you're spending time with. So just be aware of that, dear ones. This is why some people say, oh, he just gives me a headache, or oh, I just feel sick about this or this or this situation or this person or this group. And it's because there's a clash there, or perhaps some very old toxicity desiring to come out, and that group or that person spurred that on. So we're just bringing a lot of light in right now for all of that. Wonderful, wonderful. Very powerful eclipse this week. We had 2 days, the 19th and 20th, well, last week rather, the 19th and 20th, very powerful light coming in. So we're just pulling away all that resistance, we're assisting in the release, pulling away the toxicity that's desiring to go. Just leave the body now. It's done. It's finished. Your whole system is upgrading with this light. So it's going to start refusing and releasing a lot that doesn't serve it anymore. And that begins on a molecular level and extends all the way to every form of the outer body and your energies as well. Wonderful. We see some incredible shifts in a lot of people's energies, really everyone's. Some of you just sort of desiring to take in so much light, and you're just calling it forth. Let's go, let's go, let's go with that ascension. I want to be a fifth dimensional being. I want to be my true and authentic self. And that is absolutely wonderful. We're just going to flow in as well. Just the rose ray of Mother Mary, the rose ray of the absolutely beautiful divine feminine, in the sense of helping you go a bit easy, helping you to accept that which has felt difficult for you, helping you to accept that which the body is trying to fight against, and, helping you to accept all this transformation and be easy about it. And sometimes that's going to mean you just lie down or sit quietly and meditate or do yoga practice, taking a walk, sometimes more rest, just relax. If you feel like your consciousness, your mind, your heart are just very crowded, take a rest as soon as you can. You're going to have to carve out times for yourself, dear ones, where you are just being so open to assistance. Just call it in. My angels, I call forth the most benevolent outcome for how I'm feeling right now, and then describe that. I feel tense, I feel ill, I feel exhausted, I feel headachy, whatever it is. Upset, emotionally upset, unsure of what I'm doing, etc. And just whatever it is, all right? Just call that forth and present it to your guardian angels, present it to your higher self, and just say, most benevolent outcome, I give thanks. I give thanks, I give thanks. Wonderful, dear ones. All right. So we're just going to keep flowing in this lovely healing light to assist and everyone's release of toxicity in a way that isn't too uncomfortable, in a way that isn't exhausting, and a way that supports not only your ascension, but your day-to-day life for right now. Wonderful, dear ones. So calling in Gay's beautiful higher assistants, asking about the roommate and the dog. All right, decided to go back home. All right. All right. Now, what's interesting, there may be some people who are able to handle the dog a bit better than he did. Ask you, did you deconstruct his life? No, dear one, no. No. Your landlady made her own decision, all right? And, all right, so let's just call in that dear one, your roommate. Yeah, got layers and layers of angry protection around him. And call in the lovely pup as well. All right, dear one. All right. Just sending a lot of love and support. And we're just calling forth loving protectors, loving guides, and carers for this beautiful dog. We extend this to everyone who is a bit stressed about an animal who's just not getting the care they need for whatever reason, a neighbor or a friend or what have you, a dog that wanders the neighborhood in some cases. Yeah. All right, dear one. Sending a line of light out to the hearts of those who can come forward and work with this dear animal. Your team is saying absolutely you didn't deconstruct anything. Either he would have had to let go of the dog or he would have had to move with her, and his ego is too big to let her go at the moment. He will eventually, but not right now. All right. All right, Trevor, dear one. Just sending you a lot of light right now, all right? Can you accept that? And can you give us some of these hard, angry, protective shells? And again, all the work done on this call is extended to everyone. Call in your loved ones if you wish on a soul level. Just call them in spirit form. If you want them to benefit from the work we've been doing and what we're doing now and will be doing. Okay. All right. Yes, we follow. We understand what you're saying. Then let it go. Put it down right now. Put down the resentment. Put down the rage. Put down the need to react. All right. You had it tough as a child. We understand. Well, it frightens you to love someone like you love the dog because you haven't really felt that a lot. You've gone around very isolated out of self-protection, and that's completely understandable. But the dog's love for you and your love for the dog is one of the most beautiful and precious and positive things in your life. And if you can't care for this dear one in beautiful, positive ways, you will have to let her go eventually, all right? Until you learn to care about yourself. So let's bring in the energies of self-love, and we'll do this for everyone. And we'll do this for Gay as well, of course. Just a lot of beautiful light. Wonderful. Let go of all that old resistance. It's just gone into the heart space. Let go. That's right. That's not you. That's not you. Just let it go. Let it go. Something we're going to do right now, dear ones, is we're going to open a portal of light to the higher realms, and we're going to go we're going to call forth the loved ones of any and all entities sitting inside anyone's energies, anyone listening live or on replay, who has energies of I don't deserve love, or they treated me badly, or I have to stay isolated, I have to stay self-protected because there's bad people out there, I know because I came from bad people, and on and on. All right? Just bring up those feelings, any self-esteem, self-confidence you feel you lack. Just let that come up. Not sure you really like yourself sometimes, the self-criticism. Just let that come up for a moment. Don't feel to be enough in certain respects. Wonder if the people around you really do love you, or if you really can love them. Let all that's it. Perfect. All right. Everybody breathe easy. Let go of all that. Let go. Loved ones, will you come forward, please, for these ones sitting in the energies of these dear ones. Look, we're going to say to them, these entities, you floated up above your body. Do you remember that? Do you remember you saw your body below you? It wasn't dead, it wasn't asleep, and it wasn't unconscious. The body had died. Do you understand? Do you understand that? Yeah, you didn't want to move on. We understand that. But what happened is you came into other people's bodies then. All of you, each of you has come into somebody else's body. Yeah, you're harming these dear ones. And you have denied yourself pure joy. Look up into that light. Look at this beautiful light. Emissaries of light, angels of transition, will you come forward, please? And loved ones, will you take these ones by the hand? All you have to do is look up into that light, and you're going to remember that's the light of home. That's all you have to do. Look up into that light, and you'll go naturally toward it, because that's your real home. Yeah, you'll have a new body there. Never get tired, old, never age, never die. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Go ahead. That's right. That's right. Can you just leave this dear one's body as well? Just leave him, because you're harming him. You're harming him. Ancestors, can you send love and support, please? No criticism, only love and support. Can you be a loving presence, please? Can you be a lovely, supportive presence? Yeah, we're calling everybody's ancestors. No criticism, no trying to hold them back so that they measure up to your preferences. None of that, please. None of that. Stand back for that, but come forward for pure love and pure support. Have you forgotten how hard it is to be in a body? Have you forgotten? No, you have some memory. All right. These dear ones need to go into the light. That's right. That's right. Create whatever you wish. That's, of course, you can have whatever you wish up there. Create by projected thought. You create by projected thought. That's right. Perfect. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, dear ones. Excellent. So you're all right, Gay. No, you're all right, sweetheart. You know, we don't want anyone to think that they've ruined someone else's life. If you have been a catalyst for something in someone's life, please do believe us. They called that in. All right, dear ones? It isn't so that you've harmed someone. Not at all. All right, so now this dear one, we'll go into the next question, is in a car accident recently, almost recovered from past injuries. Yeah, so there were already injuries. Any guidance as to why this showed up at this time in my life? Let's call forth Sam's team here, spirit team. Namaste, dear ones. I'm just going to listen. Again, all the energy work continues on, even if it seems like we've moved on to someone else. We're still working with each person individually. So let's just listen. Why this other accident when this dear one was almost recovered from the last one? Just going to listen. All right, and why did he let it in? All right. Yeah, past life trauma features so hugely. In the first accident, they're saying you kind of came out of the body a bit or a lot. And they're saying that they kind of used this one and you have used this one to draw yourself back in. You've also got energies in you, dear one, that are they're sort of destruction orientated, they're accident orientated, and that's not really you. You did carry some of that from a past life, from different things that had happened to you that were very difficult and very painful and tragic, your team is saying, in other lives. So these entities who came in and these energies who came in, saw that, resonated with it, and moved right in. So let's, again, open that portal of light. Loved ones, come forward. And we'll ask this dear one, look, just feel that right now. Just feel the jolt of accidents and how annoying that is and how hard it is and upsetting. And it just throws you off and you're just really fed up with it and fed up with getting injured. And just let that come up for a moment. All right, dear one. Yeah, that's it. Very good. Anyone else who has felt this, let that come up. And now just let go. That's it. That's fine. Breathe easy. Let go of that. Just breathe it out. That's fine. Loved ones, come forward, please. All of you who are sitting in this dear one's energies and anyone else listening, your accident orientated, you feel that that's just inevitable, and you still carry the vibration of the jolt, the shock, the upset, and maybe the tragedy of an accident, and so that's natural to you. You never healed that. You're still resonating at that level. Pardon. We're going to say, look at this beautiful light. Just move up, look up at that beautiful light. That's where you need to be, dear ones. You won't ever have to worry about any accident ever again in the whole of your lives. Never, never. Do you understand you're in somebody else's body? Do you understand that? And do you understand that you're harming him? Yeah. Well, you may not have meant to harm anyone, but you need to move on. You need to move. Yes, you did. You left your body, and the body is gone now. It's entirely gone. You'll have a new life, a new body, but you've got to move into that light. Just hanging around in somebody else's body, causing them trouble, that's not the way forward, dear one. You know that. All of you, you know that. Look at that light. Just look up into that beautiful light. Look at these lovely emissaries of light, these beautiful angels coming forward to assist, and your loved ones. Look who's here. Yeah. Friends and family you haven't seen in a long time. They've missed you. Even lovely furry friends coming forward now. Yeah. Animals you've loved in various lives. You remember them. You remember them. They want you to join them. They've missed you badly. Time to go home. Of course it is. Yes. Of course it is. Look, you've had enough. You've had enough. It's your time. And one day it'll be time for these still ones to go home. But for right now, all of you who have been living in their bodies need to go home. All right? You need to move on. That's right. Wonderful. Brand new body. That's right. Never age or get ill. Yeah. Just perfect health. That's right. That's right. Yes, of course. Of course. Create what you desire. It happens very easily in those higher realms. All right? So, all right. So, Sam, dear one. Okay. We're just going to say meditation to come into a calm space where you feel safe to be in the body is very important, dear ones. Very important right now. All right? You must. Calming music. Reassure your body that it's a safe space to be in. Listen to this and other energy clearings often. We'll have the replay on our writer's website. And it's just very important that you allow yourself that peacefulness, all right? Because otherwise you'll still be reverberating with the shock and the upset of the car accident. And they are very difficult. Absolutely they are. But you're needing very much to move into a space of calm and quiet. So give yourself that, all right, dear one? Give yourself that calm and that quiet. And don't feel that it's typical of you to be in accidents or to have injuries. You've just got to release all that. So more clearing, some more energy work to assist with that. So, all right, this dear one is asking, how do I sustain faith as I try to change my dire financial situation? I'm watching thoughts and feelings come up, trying to replace the negative, embedded ones with prosperous, hopeful ones. I need a financial miracle. Afraid I'm going to sabotage any progress I may make. Probably that isn't you, dear one. Probably that all those fears, their entity and energy interferences, and again, energy clearing is incredibly helpful, and we can do a bit of that for you. Absolutely we can. It's just, it's got to be ongoing for a while because it looks to be fairly deeply embedded. But let's call in your spirit team. We're just going to listen for a moment. Partly past life trauma, yes. This was embedded in you, this feeling of finances being a mess. Outside interferences, old training from past lives, good grief, yes. Really shamed and scolded for having money at different times and for not having it, both. If you read this lovely book by Ken Honda called Happy Money, our writer will put that into the chat. It's called Happy Money, And he points out, he's a brilliant man, he's known as the Zen millionaire, and he points out that many people are just plain afraid, absolutely afraid of money, afraid of having it, afraid of not having it, afraid of having too much or too little, having too much for themselves, spending it, afraid to spend it, afraid not to spend it, on and on and on. And he really works beautifully with these ideas and explains, using the example of his own life and other people's, whose work he's followed. Absolutely wonderful, because what all money is energy, and it's a form of energy that you've blocked out because of the training you received. But let's just see what else your team is saying. Excellent. Yes, energy clearings for that. Let's, right now, dear one, we want to image, and you'll see them do this on the spiritual acceleration clearings as well. Wonderful clearings at that website, spiritualacceleration.com. But this is a beautiful image where you see in front of you, now we work a lot with the transmuting violet flame of Saint Germain, and anything that's giving you trouble, you image that flame in front of you and you put that heavy sack of density into that flame and watch it turn into beautiful, absolutely beautiful, sparkling new energy, new light, new energy that will create new forms. And you don't have to carry the heaviness of it, but what they do in spiritual acceleration is they will say, all right, image that flame. They use the white flame, as they call the Holy Spirit, which is the white flame of the divine feminine. And image that flame in front of you. Now, flying out of you are going to be all these agreements, contracts, whether soul contracts or written contracts, spoken words, oaths, vows, to the effect that, yes, I accept poverty, yes, I accept shame, I accept my smallness, I accept that I'm meant to be a subordinate or a slave or a servant, and not a strong, empowered person in and of myself. So see all those contracts. It might look like legal contracts. It might look like some of them, they were written in blood or tapped into stone. It might look like they were handwritten. Doesn't matter. Whatever you see, whatever you feel is fine. All of it flying out of you right now and going into that beautiful white flame of the divine feminine. Or you can work with the violet flame of Saint Germain, or both. It doesn't matter. Both are powerful. All of those, all of the energy, in other words, the presence, the promise of all of that flying into those transmuting flames. And they're just going to return all of it back to pure energy, and it can be used for something far more positive. Very, very important. So image that now, and you might want to take the next few days to just say, all these old contracts, that's 3D, that's the old paradigm, that's not me. I am not poverty-stricken. I am not struggling. I am a co-creator of the highest level. I am not just a brilliant manifester, I'm a master of manifesting. I'm wonderful at it. And what I'm manifesting now is complete release, complete dissolution of all debt, and a buildup of financial harmony and joy and fulfillment and abundance in my life. And just keep seeing all of these ridiculous old contracts and vows and oaths that you had to take in one life or another, which are still in place energetically, still in the subconscious, still active on a soul level, all of them flying out of you and going into the white flame or the violet flame and turning into pure energy, just transmuting upon the instant. Now you can also, we would say daily, go to YouTube and start looking up, say, tapping for financial stress, financial fear, anything like that, or tapping for financial abundance. You might just want to stop thinking in terms of the upset and think in terms of the positive. And then you're going to start, you tap on this karate chop point, as they say, all right, the side of the palm. And this is going to affect the subconscious as well as the etheric body. So it's incredibly powerful. These are the meridian points we tap on. These are energy centers. And you're just going to say, even though I'm really upset financially, I still completely love and accept myself. Say it 2 more times. Even though I've seen almost no hope for me financially, I still completely love and honor myself. 1 more time. Even though I'm really unhappy with how the finances have been going, I still completely respect, love, and honor myself. And then you're going to start tapping in that inner eye. We would suggest everyone tap with us. Inner eye, you're just going to get out how you're feeling, that inner eyebrow, rather. Get out how you're feeling. Just so upset. Outer eyebrow, I cannot take this anymore. Under the eye, I just feel so bereft of all the support I need. And under the nose, I know I have some forms of support, and under the lower lip above the chin, but I don't ever feel I have enough money. And collarbone right in the center there. This is just so hard for me. And about 6 inches under the armpit. I just want to release all this heaviness. I don't want that. I don't want to feel that my situation is dire. I just feel chased down by it. And then top of the head. What am I supposed to do? Because it feels to be out of my control. And then inner eyebrow again. Do you know I'm just going to give all this to my higher self? And outer eyebrow. I just am not going to struggle with it anymore. And under the eye, I'm not going to typify myself anymore as somebody who's in financial distress. And under the nose, I'm going to typify myself whose life as being someone whose life is getting better all the time. And under the lower lip, I'm going to say to myself hundreds of times a day, thank you, thank you, thank you, universe, thank you. I'm going to go into the feeling, we're at the collarbone now, I'm going to go into the feeling of thankfulness, and I'm going to stay there. Even if my logical mind tells me that's nonsense. And under the arm, I'm going to go into thankfulness, and I'm going to keep saying everything keeps getting better for me. Better and better and better every day. And top of the head, no matter what, I'm constantly assisted, and I give thanks. This can actually be a beautiful journey for you, dear one, even an adventurous, joyful one. And you don't need faith if you have inner knowing. We want to say, just to be a little bit annoying, that term faith is a little bit of a misnomer because it's a sort of, I hope this is true. I'm kind of depending on it even though it's never been proven to me outwardly, kind of a feeling. And we want you to understand that what you desire is an inner knowing, that you are constantly loved and constantly looked after and you are never alone. Absolutely never. And this is the sort of reason we have the Abundant Living program, not just to assist people with finances, although certainly it can extend to that, but to assist them in moving into the realization that they're powerful co-creators. But the first thing you've got to do, dear one, is raise that emotional vibration, which is what the tapping can do. You've got to move yourself into a feeling of being empowered, and just watching your thoughts and trying to replace them with positive ones. This is a good first step, but it's not going to be enough, dear one, because what you're doing is you're dealing with the top 10%, and that bottom 90% is your subconscious. So their subconscious doesn't understand. If you say, oh, I'm in perfect health, I have so much money, I'm so thankful, your subconscious didn't hear any of that. Not a word of it. It works with symbols. It works with the energy centers, the meridians. It works with metaphors and analogies. It works with the visualization that you would go into in meditation, which we powerfully recommend. It works with repetition of an idea. Now, that's why we'll say to people, get a pen and paper or write it out on your computer, but it's good to do it with pen and paper. Write out an affirmation that says, I am constantly guided financially, and things are improving for me beautifully in my finances. Whatever you want to say, I am now bringing in an income of fill in the blank, 80, 100,000 a year, it's up to you, in ways that are joyful and perfect for me. I give thanks. Think up 4 or 5 different affirmations, but work with them one at a time. Leave space on the right-hand side of the page, and after you write out that affirmation, I am so beautifully financially independent and empowered. I give thanks. Write your immediate reaction on the right, just your gut reaction to that statement. It'll probably say, no, I'm not, or no, you're not, or something like that. That's great. What you've just brought up is subconscious resistance. Go back and write that affirmation again and again react on the right. Keep writing the affirmation, keep reacting on the right. After a bit, you'll see that reaction go neutral. It'll stop fighting you. Keep writing the affirmation, and then you will notice after a bit, it's going to say, yeah, I believe it. Thank you. You have literally in that moment created a new neural pathway. You have literally in that moment changed how you feel and how you think about your life. And does that have power in terms of what you experience outwardly? It has complete power. 110% your spirit team are saying. Yeah. So don't forget about the energy clearings or the tapping. Absolutely you need those. Our writer will be creating more energy clearings. She does them a lot with the Abundant Living program. But, you can find them in a number of places. Again, spiritualacceleration.com, they have them as well in their members portal, which you can join, become a member for free. And they're not high cost at all. And they can change your life. They can absolutely change your life. But if you don't want to put out that $30 or $35 for a recorded clearing right now, start creating your own clearings with meditation and visualization, visualizing money just coming to you, and see your debt as a big sort of pile of density, like dark, ash in a huge sack, and just see it reducing into nothing until it's just a little bit that just blows away in the wind, or put it all into a beautiful stream of pure light. As you throw it in, it's going to dissolve in that light, and then see these absolutely huge, beautiful containers all around you, huge golden goblets, and they're just filling up, golden coins falling down from the sky and just filling up these goblets and overflowing. Absolutely wonderful, dear ones. Yeah, and do those affirmations and the tapping as well. There's so much help now. There's so much help. And rather than just asking for a financial miracle, ask that you grasp the miracle that is your own co-creative power every single day of your life. It's not going to come from without. It's going to start with you. And that probably sounds a bit ridiculous and unlikely at the minute, but it does come from you, dear one, and it will. All right, Harry. So this dear one's asking if we can offer suggestions around creating a healing retreat on their property. Had the idea to do this, and it would tie in with my interest in crystals, herbalism, gardening, yoga. Absolutely wonderful. Let's see what your team is saying, dear one, because you want to do this in the right time and way. Just going to bring them in. They're showing us if you can rent or buy a fairly large sort of, it doesn't have to be a tent, but a covering. All right, and to begin with, you probably wouldn't need a large one, but a covering so that people can sit under that. Do this in summer when the weather is nice, and sit under it and just start out just with, say, a half a day, and have chairs there available for them, and maybe a few tables, a few folding tables if you want people to do some actual work. You can assist with, gardening, have them bring their yoga mats to practice some yoga outside. And they're saying just start to consider where on the property, maybe, if you've got a back garden area, backyard, wonderful, where just start imaging. And you'll need a covering to help them keep the sun off a bit. And if you're in the evening, maybe something to help keep the mosquitoes away. So there's natural forms of mosquito repellent, or deterrent, but we're just listening. So they're saying they popped this idea into your head. Wonderful. You wrote it into your life chart. Wonderful. If you haven't ever attended a day or half-day retreat, maybe try to attend one or see it online and see what others do. See what you feel drawn to in terms of ideas of what to offer. They're saying it is part of your work and it is something you can do and you can glean income from. Yeah. Even if you're only asking, say, $39 or $49 for a 4-hour retreat, we would start out with the smaller ones. And they're saying pick 2 of those areas, of the crystals, the herbalism, the gardening, the yoga. Pick just 2 of those areas, unless you're going to do a longer retreat. And you don't have to find people a place to stay if they're willing to, unless you can, fix something with a local Airbnb or a B&B establishment and say, can you give, if I bring in 10 people in one weekend or so, could you give us a discount, that sort of a thing. Probably be more local people to begin with. And you would advertise not only online, social media, but in bookstores and coffee shops and that sort of thing, and create an email list, and then have people able to see what's happening online as well. If you don't have an email list yet, you'll need to create one, but you can video it as well and sell that as a program. So there's a lot there, dear one. So people can watch it online if they're not able to attend in person. Of course, it's great if you can have people attend in person, but yeah, somebody would have to be manning the camera, especially if you're going to go into the garden, but absolutely, dear one. Just start writing down your ideas. This is what they're saying, and just start seeing how this would flesh out in real life, and be willing to start small and to learn as you go. Yeah, wonderful, dear one. Excellent. Part of your path. So, all right, Michaela is asking, nature is always interfered with through pipelines or buildings, and we're sending a lot of light to that dear one's efforts, by the way, for the retreat. But nature always interfered with pipelines, buildings. Is there something we can do for the natural beings to make it easier for them? And that's wonderful, dear one. So we think of the nature spirits as well as the wildlife and people and animals who live near pipelines and buildings that are not healthy. So, all right, just bring in your team. Just going to ask, is this part of this dear one's life purpose? Yeah, you're anchoring a lot of light in this issue already. There's things you can do as an activist to build awareness, but they're saying right now, as you think of anyone's situation, say as the DAPL pipeline or what have you, or anything else. Ah, that's interesting. All right, so that's an excellent idea. They're saying send light to those who feel it's okay to put up pipelines, who feel it's okay to put up buildings where there was a park or an open green space of any kind. Send light to their heart space and to their minds to help them to evolve, to realize this is no longer the way. It should never have happened, and what people call fossil fuels, which actually aren't from fossils, but anyway, what people call fossil fuels, that's not clean energy, and it's dreadful for the environment, and it's time that they woke up. And just send them light, send them love and acceptance. You don't have to send a judgment, such as what we just offered, but send them a lot of light, and just say, time to wake up, friends. You understand your soul is waking you up, and then you want to send light to that area and to all the nature spirits and the animals and the people who live there, and anybody who's affected, and see this beautiful green, emerald green light maybe coming down through them to heal anything that's been injured and to assist them in moving up above so that they're resonating so high they're not even touched by any of that. All right, dear ones. So sending light for that, and absolutely beautiful, dear one, that's part of your life purpose, and you're doing wonderfully. You're very, very busy in your sleep state. You're doing wonderfully, yes. And so, all right, so Larry asking, what do I need to know as far as how to proceed with my recent housemate who wrongfully evicted me at Easter weekend, stole from me, extortion, holding my possessions, not communicating when offered to help him get the support he needs with grace and forgiveness. All right, dear one, someone like that has a lot of angry protective layers around him, as we were speaking of earlier, and he's going to react against receiving the offer of support and the grace, forgiveness that you carry. All right, so sending light wherever you're moving to now, dear one, if you're looking for a place, pardon, or have just moved somewhere. Let's bring in your spirit team, because withholding your possessions should be utterly illegal, as the theft and the extortion. We're wondering, namaste, dear ones, we're just wondering, should this dear one alert the authorities? Or just walk away? All right. This is a dark being. We're going to ask, they're saying that the retribution, the pushback he would come up with might make it not worth it. You might want to report him to a housing authority if you've got one in your state or province or your area. They're saying that you could do rather than calling in the police. All right, we're just listening. Something you can do, they're saying, you almost have to go kind of carefully because he's a troubled person and a difficult one. You can say, I'm coming over at 10 a.m. Saturday morning, whenever you know he'll be there in the evening to get the rest of my things. And if you refuse to let me in, if you refuse to let me have access to my belongings, I will have to call the police. You can offer to call the police, in other words, without actually doing so. But you can signal your seriousness there. We're going to ask, is there a past life issue there? Ah, you were brothers in another life. He was never done resenting you in that life. He figured you'd stolen from him, that you'd taken most of his inheritance. It wasn't true. You were given guardianship of the property. You had stewardship there as executor. But he felt very stolen from. He's not quite right. He's not quite mentally right, dear one. He was imbalanced in that life, and he is in this life as well. So that will take some energy work. We're just going to call him forward. If you don't want this fellow to be in your life anymore, all right, you need to allow him his possessions. The connection remains so long as you have those possessions, and that's not any way that you even the playing field or even the score. Not at all. You haven't done that because you're still bitter, aren't you? Yeah. You're going to have to let go, dear one. All right? Can you give us that bitterness? Can you give us that sadness? This man isn't your brother in this life. He hasn't harmed you. He's trying to extend love in this life as he did in the other one. Can you give us that? All right, look what's happening. We're going to put it in this beautiful violet flame, and it's going to change into pure light. Can you step into that cool violet flame? We do encourage everyone to do this. Just step into that flame and just say, whatever's not for my higher good, I ask to be transmuted into pure light. And you can do this as well, dear one. Image him, image the whole house in a cool violet flame. You don't want to image it burning down, of course, but the violet flame transmutes. It doesn't burn. Now he's just breaking down and falling down. Yeah. So work with it energetically, dear one. Again, see those contracts you had with this man in this life and any life you've ever had, and any experience that's similar, see it flying out of you and going into that beautiful transmuting flame, all of it. And just say to him inwardly, our contract is over, all is well. And just keep practicing that. All right, dear one. Sending a lot of light for that situation. Absolutely. It is important to offer grace and forgiveness, but you also need boundaries and you need your rights. Yeah. All right. Yes, all right. So we'll take just a few more here. Yes, and he's talking about balancing the masculine and feminine. Wonderful. Dawn has her car is broken down. Ah, that is a shame. Let's just ask your team, Dawn, what's going on with that and why you're having to. All right. Well, they're saying your energies are a little bit very forward flowing in a sense that you're doing too much. All right, can you slow down a bit? Can you cut a few things out of your schedule if possible, or at least consider doing that? We realize old habits take over. Absolutely. You're someone who gets things done. Wonderful. But you need quiet time. You need time for yourself. If you don't take it, the universe will hand it to you, basically. So let's just see if Dawn can. You just hand us this feeling that you've got to stay busy and fulfill roles and fulfill duties and responsibilities and no quiet time every day full of stuff. Yeah. Send us that, dear one. And we're putting everything into that beautiful violet flame. Now, a lot of this comes from your ancestors, your matrilineal inheritance, energetically, and in terms of life philosophy. And we're just putting all that in that beautiful flame. Put yourself in that violet flame and say, yes, I'm willing to take time for myself. I'm willing to let go of any compulsion to keep going constantly and keep doing and be highly productive and just take care of everything all at once. And I'm just going to let go of that. I'm going to find a place to sit quietly. I can just sit and look at the trees and look at the grass and the clouds moving across the sky and just be calm. That's right. That's right. All right. It's what you observed. Yes. Okay. All right, dear one. Yeah. And you kind of came in with the feeling that you had never done enough for other people as well, or yourself. So that's another issue. And so we're just putting everything into that violet flame. Really not able to get into everything as deeply and fully as we would like on this call, but you can at least get the idea. And so, all right, yes, Natalie, write a question into the chat. And if we have time, we'll need to close in about 15 minutes. But if we have time, we certainly will get to it, dear one. Oh, wonderful. And so the book that we channeled through our writer, Kat, is saying, my financial life changed when I read your book on abundance. Thank you. Wonderful, dear one. All right, wonderful. Natalie is saying, I feel called to create experience for women in menopause, and I keep being stopped and have huge menopausal symptoms myself. Is there anything you can tell me? All right, dear one. So we're just, all right, good. That's fine. Just calling forth your team right now, all right? It keeps being stopped. What's going on with that, please? All right, not going about it the right way according to your team. What would the right way be? All right, Natalie, if you can write in to your into the chat there, let us know how you are creating this experience. So you're talking about coaching, individual or group coaching, or you're talking about energy work. Your team want you to create actual tools for women to use, whether it's tapping or nutritional advice or forms of exercise specifically aimed toward assisting women with that issue. There's a wonderful physical therapist, Isa Herrera, and fairly sure endpelvicpain.com is her website, but she would deal with that issue amongst others, yes. And you might get some ideas from her. But let us know, dear ones. Let's see. Let's see if Natalie is there. If you can give us a bit more information, this is helpful, because what that does, dear one, is it opens up the issue. It really opens up the issue. Yeah. Let's just see what else your team is saying. Yeah, they're pointing out that there are various therapies, various forms of nutritional assistance, diet, supplementation, etc., that can really help women as they're in that a phenomenal phase of their life, which is such an awakening as well on so many levels. So just look into that, dear one, and they'll show you what it is. Now, what it is you're meant to do. Something you can do, and we suggest this for everyone. If you're really stuck about something, get a pen and paper. This has to be done by hand, all right? Pen and paper, right at the top. Tell me what's happening. In this case, Natalie would say, tell me what's happening that I keep trying to create a wonderful experience for these women, and I keep getting stopped. And then you write that out by hand, and then you're going to switch the pen to the other hand, the non-dominant hand that you never write with. And just let the story come out. And that will be your subconscious, maybe. Sometimes it's a past life self, sometimes your child self, sometimes your higher self. And you can always ask your higher self to write through you, to speak through you, and use automatic writing. But specify only that which is of divine love is allowed to speak through me here. Specify that very, very clearly. All right, dear ones. So, all right. We're sending a lot of light to that. Your team is saying they'll keep working with you. Just say to them daily, what is the right way of doing this? If you're stopping me from the method or the shape of this program that I was creating, then show me what's right. And you can use muscle testing, very easy. Start out with something small, until you build up your confidence in it. And the example we always give is ask yourself right now, do I like apples? And you're going to form a circle between thumb and tip of thumb and forefinger, and then another one with the other hand, link that inside. Do I like apples? All right, so for our writer, that's a yes. All right, she can't separate it. Do I like asparagus? No, not particularly. If you can easily break that link between the two hands, that's a no. If you can't break it, no matter how hard you try, that's a yes. So you just get used to asking simple questions. And then over time, yes, it's the finger ring is what that one is called. Over time, you can trust it for bigger things. Absolutely wonderful. So just keep asking, dear one. Keep after your spirit team, and they will assist. They're saying they will show you. Let's see here. Just take a couple more. Amy's saying, can you channel barriers to our center opening that keeps being pushed back? Is there a block in me that needs to be cleared? All right. By center opening, do you mean the heart space, dear one? All right, Natalie, we'll come back to you in a moment, dear one. Yeah, well, you do have a barrier there, not Amy. Yes. Yeah, a wellness center. All right. All right. Let's just have a look. We're listening to your spirit team. Why? It's not the right time? They're saying more like in a year. But this dear one could make preparations for that. The right place hasn't opened up yet. The right location won't be free for a year. So about maybe 7, 8, 9 months from now, start looking for a place and see what will be open. Then call these rental agencies, these real estate agencies that know where the commercial rentals are open, and get clued in that way. Your team is saying they'll lead you to it. You also need the right people working with you there, and they're also not available yet. So partly it's your own energies and also earth energies and the place where you're meant to be. So there's a number of things that have to line up, dear one. All right, well, ask about the location you've already found. Everything is slowed down because the supply chain slowed down with the pandemic. I'm just listening. They're just saying, slow it down. Not the right time yet. So don't be over anxious to get it rolling before it's ready. Yeah, and again, there's only so much we can do in a quick call, dear ones. But this is just a demonstration for you. Yeah, hot flashes are so much. All right, so Natalie, what you might want to look into is bioidentical hormone treatment. And specifically, there's a specific kind which our writer can assist. You can find, if you want to email her at ascensiontimes@gmail.com. And it should be called Tutera or something connected to that. And they have ways of assisting all over the world. There are ways to assist with supplements and nutritional assistance. It might not be enough for you. So that's where the bioidentical hormone treatment comes in. You might just want to look at it and see if your spirit team are in agreement. They're saying you do need treatment that you're not getting, is what they're saying. Yeah. All right, dear ones. Wonderful. So again, if you go to Abundant Living, the Abundant Living page at ascensiontimes.com, you're going to be able to see some really wonderful benefits to being an Abundant Living member. But we're seeing now we've left, looks like it might be Wilma. We've left her somewhat out in the cold there because she's had her hand raised. So Wilma, if you want to, all right, want to ask a question, dear one, go ahead. All right,
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, dear one. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, I kept unmuting myself, but it kept saying I was muting myself.
Go ahead.
It's Wilma. I do have one quick question, but before I ask a question, I want to thank you so much for putting this call on today, because I don't know what the reason is, but it feels like the energies on the healings and the clearings are far more intense and on a higher level than normal. So it's been really interesting to feel into that for the whole call.
Oh, wonderful.
So that's kudos to you. My question is, I would like my team and my guide to assist me in finally pulling out whatever my gifts, my healing energies are that I should be using.
All right. So this is probably something we've spoken of before, that you're excellent at organizing, you're excellent at events. Are you thinking in that direction, dear one?
I am, but it feels like there's something that is meant, it feels like there's something I'm meant to be doing either with my hands or my voice.
Yes. All right. What they're saying is that you can also do energy healing if you want to study that. There's various forms online that you can study. Certainly everyone tends to go to Reiki. Well, not everyone, but there's Quantum Touch, which offers free online training, or they did a while ago. And there's various other forms of energy healing. And they're also saying they could assist you in simply learning. You would just get some basic information and then learn your own technique. So that would be something else as well. Then you could start out on plants and animals and friends, people you know. Mm-hmm.
That does feel right. Mm-hmm. And I think you just answered the question, which was my original question, that I feel like there's something I'm meant to be doing. So if my team helps start me, I think then that will flow, whatever it is that's latent, that's ready to come.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
All right, dear one. Absolutely. And we can discuss that more in group. So absolutely wonderful. Yes, indeed. So,
Perfect.
Okay. And Dawn, this will be our last question. Did you have another question, dear one? You have to unmute.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you so much. What a day this has been. I was just sitting getting my car towed and da-da-da. Anyways, maybe this is a metaphor for just my whole body feeling tired. My question is, never felt this tired, bone tired, since I had mono like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. What do I need to know from my team besides just stop and take a rest? But is there something I really need to be working at? Yes. It's getting debilitating.
All right. We're going to ask about nutritional assistance for one thing. There are some elements you're not getting that you really do need. So if you can see a naturopath or a nutritionist and get tested, this would be very, very helpful. Yes. make sure you're getting enough B vitamins, because you really do,
I am.
stay busy. All right,
I'm on a
good.
lot. Yeah.
Very good. And they're pointing out, take them in naturally through food as well as supplements, because sometimes the body doesn't really absorb very well from supplements, but it will more so from food. And then just listening.
Yeah. Thank
Well,
you.
they're saying it's sort of like it's a tank that's run out of oil, and you need to just take time and meditate and get body work done, or energy work, where you're actually going in and seeing the practitioner and receiving very supportively, and just being aware that if you're going to fill up that tank again, it means giving to yourself. Really giving to yourself.
Yeah, I just did a 3-hour Qigong retreat. I could barely finish that. And I'm like, oh, my kidney chi is, when that's the case.
That's a bit much. It is. So something where you're just lying quietly and the practitioner is just working with you, depending on where you live.
Beautiful.
Our writer can make a few suggestions. If you live out west, as she does, if you don't live out west, then you'd have to look in your area, but you just need increased self-care on an energetic level, as well as in terms of sustenance, dear one. Yeah, because what you're going through right now in the etheric is a lot. You're really doing a lot of work. You're releasing a lot that's been very heavy, that you've been carrying in one earth life after another, and that needs to end now. Yeah. Need to just fully release. So wonderful, dear one. So we send much love, everyone. And, again, our writer will put the link into, there we are, into the chat for Ascension Times. If you go to the Abundant Living page on the ascensiontimes.com site, there's, the first 3 people to become new gold and platinum members will receive within a couple of months an hour-long session. So that's an added sort of bonus for those who pick those particular memberships. But really, we suggest it because life is so demanding right now that everyone needs the kind of assistance that this sort of program can offer, because you don't want to feel that you're alone, and you want to deal with things that are very, very hard for you. So deal with them actively rather than just sort of bending under the weight of them. And so we give so much thanks, dear ones, and much love, and we'll bring our writer back now. But all of you so brave and so wonderful to come in and to be here and at this time on this planet. And we just send every kind of love and every kind of light that is empowering for your soul. Great respect. Namaste. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. And you're welcome, Harry. You're welcome, Yvette. And arigato. Jonas says that's a Ken Honda thing. Yeah, you're welcome, Janine. Much love, Sandy. Much love to everybody. And again, if this is really your time to get this kind of help only on a much deeper level, then please do sign up for the Abundant Living program, and sending huge blessings. And this recording will be posted on the Abundant Living page, and I'll probably also put it on YouTube, but it'll be just showing me. It won't be showing everybody's names. So I send much love and so many blessings, because, this is an intense time to be on the planet, but it can also be an incredibly fascinating and adventurous and beautiful one. And we're only ever getting stronger, only ever going into greater light. So much love, and have a beautiful week ahead. Namaste.
Namaste.